welcome to Gemstone Tarot. This is your daily tarot it's your weekend tarot for the weekend of the 30th and the 31st of March 2019. That could have gone better, couldn't it? Okay, weekend reading. So all week we've been having like guest tarots. Now I just want to have a palette cleanse. We're going with a bit of Radiant Rider-Waite because, you know, we just need a bit of normal. Valley Bob's joins us. She's just settled down. Okay, what do we need to know? What do we need to know? We've had some really deep and quite crazy readings in March, haven't we? Although I think it's been quite deep and crazy energy, to be fair. Ooh. I think we're going to do a bit of a... That one wants to come out. Bit of a big boy, big girl shuffle. Oh, yes. Woo! Oh my God, okay, you can't all... Oh! Oh dear, okay. If I edited, I'm sure I would have edited quite a lot by now. So far I've managed to mess up the date and throw the cards all over the floor, so this is good. Let's see what we're left with. There's quite a few, but there's a lot going on, isn't there? Okay, they belong together. Now I've got the Home and Away theme tune in my head. Do you remember that? I think it's still going, actually. When I was at school, we used to watch it. Really cheesy theme song. You and I belong together. So in love forever and ever. Something like that. Wherever you are, you're my guiding star. Etc. Okay. There are some cards, you know, that you don't want to see in all their full radiant colour. I'm going to start with it too. Seven of Swords, I know. It's enough just to see it in the faded normal Rider-Waite. When you see it in the colour version, it's like, okay. What I do notice in this, which is a bit strange, is the sort of circus tents in the background. Now I tell you what it reminds me of, and of course I'm leaping into something without actually knowing the title of any of it. When I studied Shakespeare many moons ago, we did a female playwright who wrote a play around the same time. And it was based on being at a circus or a fairground. God, I wish I could remember it. Hopefully it will come to me, okay? It's not coming to me at the moment. It's quite famous. It's very famous. And I remember studying this, and I suppose at the time it was to give some gender balance, which, you know, back then was quite revolutionary. And, oh, I almost had it on the tip of my head then. You know when you get something, it goes flump, and you think... But the one thing I really remembered about it is that it was set in this fairground, and that what happened was, during the day, things were quite kind of straightforward, as if they were setting up the marquees and the tents, and everybody knew what their job was. And then, when night came, that's when everything kind of changed. That's when people, I'm sure it had some sort of masquerade thing going on with masks. And then, of course, you've got your moonlight and your shadow, and everybody's got a mask on and things change, and that's when the sneaky stuff happens. And it feels like that. It feels like this person has taken advantage of the carnival atmosphere, of the mishmash, and people not being in their normal appearance, and made off with these 5 swords. Okay, we've got the Sun in reverse. The Sun has been around an awful lot in our readings recently, which it hasn't been for months or even a year. It's in reverse. And again, you know, the Sun in reverse reminds me of that. That feeling of when the sun goes down and somebody can be manipulative. And again, we've got the Magician in reverse. Now, the Magician in reverse for me is, it doesn't take away. The Magician is a showman to a certain extent. As above, so below. Powers of infinity, 4 elements of the tarot on the table, the external masculine side of magic, the show, here it is. Turn water into wine, alchemy, whatever it is, you know, metal into gold. Bee Gees. But when he's in reverse, this turns into a more fickle energy of manipulation for me. And that 7 of Swords keys into that. And I'm getting for that a certain amount of jiggery-pokery. This is a situation where one side is putting in a lot of good, honest, hard work and the other side is making off with something. 8 of Pentacles in reverse, the Sun in Virgo in reverse, but also the card of good, honest, hard work. If it's a work situation, you may be putting in good, honest, hard work. They may be shoplifting the goodies. Or you might be. Only you can know the answer to that. Underneath this is something quite positive. I know. There are many, what's it they say in the Bible? Is it like, my house has many mansions, or my mansion has many rooms, or something like that? In other words, there's a lot going on. I really must not keep quoting things that I can't remember. A play I can't remember by a playwright I can't remember. A quote from the Bible I can't remember. You get the gist though, don't you? There are many mansions in this situation. Okay, there's a lot going on. There is a whole fairground atmosphere of jugglers and, you know, I don't know what that is, someone driving probably a lorry, trapeze artists and darkness and makeup and costumes and magic and manipulation and suspension of belief. And if it's a relationship, you can bet there's some gaslighting going on here. There's some, whatever that is, you know, it's what a cat does, isn't it, when it wants to sit on your knee. So there's some physical manipulation, there's some sexual chemistry. If it's a work situation, there can still be sexual chemistry in a work situation when it's to do with masculine, feminine, or, you know, just power. But underneath it, we've got the 4 of Wands. That's a celebration type atmosphere. That's something, you know, that garland is something that can be built out of this. And the 2 multiplies to 4. That's positive. How to get there. The unexpected happens here too. We've got the Knight of Cups kind of barging into the situation. Now, do you remember we had the Page of Cups in reverse? I think it was yesterday or the day before. And the stinking fish, you know, and the whole kind of, is that it? Is what's in your cup? Really? Yeah. For some of you, this is maybe only for 1 or 2 of you. It's a situation where the other person's honest, good intentions have been polluted by someone else. 7 of Swords. You know, it's not necessarily that they are the 7 of Swords, but they're surrounded by the Magician, the 7 of Swords, by manipulative people. We've got the 9 of Pentacles in reverse. Someone's not standing up for themselves. 8 of Pentacles in reverse. 9 of Pentacles in reverse. And that is a tough pill to swallow. However, there's good stuff here, like there was in the reading yesterday. 4 of Wands and the 10 of Pentacles. generational, decent, happy endings, solid relationships. You got to trust this one, actually. Do you remember, was it yesterday we had the shapeshifter? I can't even remember. Okay, yeah. We get the boy. This is sometimes, like with that page, a feeling of emotional immaturity. Someone not standing up for themselves. Somebody not seeing the wood for the trees in the way you want them to. Now, there is nothing more frustrating, but also, I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but it never works when you try and point out the wood or the trees to somebody. They tend to get very resistant. So again, I think yesterday we had take a nap, didn't we? Somehow you've got to believe in the Four of Wands and the Ten of Pentacles and the Two of Wands. And you have to observe the Seven of Swords activity and not get involved with it. The more you try and persuade or interfere, actually. Oh my God, do you know what? There are many times, actually, as a tarot reader, I don't listen to myself, okay? It's part of the process of, I don't know, becoming better, I suppose. I'm not sure if such a thing exists, but maybe it's part of being a Pisces. I don't believe myself. So I thought to myself, okay, yesterday we had time for a nap, and I'll shuffle the cards and we'll get time for a nap. So I deliberately then did a big shuffle, like lots of shuffle. We get time for a nap. It's weird when that happens because I don't know why it's weird. But it's weird. I'm just sharing it with you because I saw it and it makes me feel weird. It always still makes me feel weird, but it keeps happening and you think, yeah, that's why it does happen, Gemma. But at the same time, I kind of expect it not to, but it always does. I'm babbling. The sneaky fox observation. Sleeping with one eye open, not interfering. It's a strong card, that, because it came up before it came up, which is important. It means that the energy carries. It's force is strong in this one, okay? I mean, thank God the force is strong for taking a nap. That's the kind of force that I can certainly deal with. But it is becoming the observer. Some of the people in this situation are too weak to stand up for themselves. But that is left field. You can't count for that. That's good. And you can't manipulate that. And you can't make sure you're not turning into the magician too, you know? Don't compete with the manipulation of the magician. Don't jump into the fray, okay? I'm kind of getting that whole, you know when people used to wear a nightcap, like, and have bed socks, and I'm thinking Scrooge, you know, and you got your sort of nightie on and your gorgeous Victorian bed and you voomph like this. Voomph is the duvet cover thing. In other words, stand back, because there's good stuff here. This person's intentions are good that you're dealing with, but those that surround them are manipulative and a bit poisonous. But it's a bit like you don't want to activate something that is best well left alone and will shift of its own accord. Glad we got that out, people. Glad we got that out. Okay. I'm sure that did as well. That came up the other day too. With time for a nap. It's retreat again. Okay, we're listening. Do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and please leave me a comment. I want to say severely intrigued, but that sounds awful. I'm intrigued about this reading. Okay, see you soon. Namaste.